Like I tweeted out, character win. A character win. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another post game here on Mets Central. And the Mets win 6-5 over the Philadelphia Phillies, taking the series, walking it off. Brandon Nimmo walking it off. And the thing I really, really wish that I had time to prepare for this, but I wanted to get this live stream going early because it's already going up pretty late compared to when the game ended, which I do apologize since I was in attendance for this game. That's why the live stream is starting later than it typically would. But we are here. We are going to talk about it as, again, I wish I had time to prepare because I would roll back the tape. Because if you guys were listening to any of my shows this week, if you guys would know, the thing that I wanted to see the most in these series, character type wins. And the main thing I really wanted to see, and I said this exact thing, I want to see a type of win where you walk it off versus Johan Duran and find a way to fight to win a game. Those are the kind of wins I want to see. Even though dominant wins are fun, they're great. I want to see a win where you show some heart, show some ball, show some fight. And this team has now done that for 2 straight nights, which are things that we have not seen since the 2024 season. It has to stick. It has to stay. There's no question about that. But I can tell you right now, this is as good as I have felt watching this team all season long. Now, there was a lot of ugly in this game. Do not get it twisted. Sean Manaea, ugly once again from him. Gregory Soto, another bad outing from him. You had a bad outing from Brazabon. Ryan Helsley, I thought the biggest positive yesterday, I thought we were getting back on track here. He stinks. He's a huge problem. But the biggest thing is that this offense, over the past 2 days, has shown we could kick you right back in the testicles. And that's something that I love. Before we jump into everything, leave a like on your way into the show here. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And turn on your notifications so you know when we upload or go live here on Met Central. Now, where do we begin? Because, like I said, the thing that is frustrating, though, with this offense, there's one thing that I have to be mad about. It's that we saw tendencies that we've seen all season long. Like in the bottom of the first inning, when you get the bases loaded that early and you have a chance to jump on Jesus Luzardo and Brandon Nimmo ends up striking out there. I didn't like that. You need to get going there. Tyrone Taylor getting caught trying to steal second there, taking off too early. In the bottom of the fourth, you get some guys on. You don't score. And then the fifth inning, Sean Manaea ends up not looking crisp at all, allowing a single to Bader. You get those 2 outs, Lindor making an unbelievable stop, which almost was a double play to get out of it. And we'd be talking about this game completely differently, especially with Sean Manaea's sake. We'd be talking about, okay, he gave you 5 innings. This is kind of back-to-back starts now where that part was unfortunate. You still need better from him. Do not get it twisted because this does not excuse him for the fact that he's not, unfortunately, been as sharp as you need him to be. And in that fifth inning, and then he allows that single to Trey Turner, just facing that part of the order. And I get some people wanted to see Manaea stay in the game. I thought, and Mendoza had a lot of things that I disagreed with tonight. One of the things I did not disagree with was taking out Sean Manaea when he did, though. To me, you had to there. Gregory Soto, you acquired him to face guys like Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, and it backfired. He walks Kyle Schwarber, allows a single to Bryce Harper. That is on Gregory Soto, though. I don't blame Mendoza for that because the reason you acquired a guy like Soto, like I said, is for these kind of matchups. It sucks that you have to go to the bullpen this early. But the pitch count went up too with Manaea. That was the other reason I didn't disagree. And that's really the thing that's frustrating is once again the pitch count just getting too high. And the bullpen needs to be better. Don't get it twisted. But it's also very frustrating that you constantly have to ask them for this kind of volume. Hopefully tomorrow that's not the case because Nolan McLean's on the mound and I trust him to give you at least 6 innings tomorrow, which this is going to be his biggest test, by the way, against this kind of lineup. But the thing is, in the bottom of the fifth, the Mets responded, giving something that we have not seen from them outside of last night, giving something that we have not seen all year. Torrens gets hit by a pitch. Lindor and Soto get back-to-back singles. Marte walks. Pete Alonso gets a double. Live bet on that one. Thank you. And that made it a 3-2 game. So all of a sudden, the Mets have themselves the lead. Juan Soto had a clutch hit. Just remember that. Vientos with a single. And to that point, there was no out still in the inning. So Brandon Nimmo gets a sac fly to make it 5-2. Tyrone Taylor, who has looked so much better at the plate, to the point where I don't know if I want to see Cedric Mullins for a bit. Tyrone Taylor has played so much better baseball since he's been back in the lineup a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm rolling with the hot hand right now. Unfortunately, McNeil grounds out. Torrens gets a second at bat. Lines out. And then here comes Brazoban. And he allows a single to Bohm. Castellanos lines out. Beautiful grab by Vientos there. Bader gets a double. Sosa gets a single. 5-3. The bottom of the Phillies order just giving them trouble. Thankfully, Brazoban got out of it before you had to go to the bullpen because Jose Castillo was warming up and probably would have came in to face Kyle Schwarber. So I guess you give Brazoban credit for that, but he did not look sharp enough like you need him to. Tyler Rogers, though, welcome to the circle of trust, buddy. Tyler Rogers has earned his way into the circle of trust. A beautiful performance. And this is where Mendoza makes the mistake that I disagree with. Tyler Rogers only needed 7 pitches to get through his inning. I know he pitched yesterday, but in my opinion, you had to leave him in the game and you go batter by batter with it. I wanted to see Rogers stay in, and the second that he allows a base runner, you go to Edwin Diaz. They decide not to. Ryan Helsley comes in. And to me, that's where I had an issue because there were 2 routes to go down where you needed to avoid Helsley today. And I know that he had the rebound yesterday in a blowout game, though. Why is it, though, that he has a good outing in a blowout game and it's like, yeah, throw him in high leverage again? I get that at some point Ryan Helsley needs to get right and you need to fix this. And otherwise, you have bigger problems here, but you need to correct Ryan Helsley. I get it. Now's not the time. Rogers barely threw in that last inning. It's not like he sat in the dugout for a while. The Mets struck out in order there from Matt Strahm. You needed, in my opinion, if you were not going to keep Rogers in the game, tonight's the night where you use Diaz for a 6-out save. He has not had a lot of work lately. You got to close out this game. And the thing that's even more frustrating, Helsley strikes out the first batter, walks Castellanos, and the way that he went about this Bader at bat pissed me the fuck off. I don't understand why he's going with 4 straight sliders in that at bat there, and then he decides to give him the heater there in a 3-2 count when he knows you're going to go the heater there because you're not going to want to walk back-to-back batters. He knows it. And then the game-tying home run there. That can't happen. And I was screaming it in the stands too. I'm screaming when it's a 2-2 count. All right, throw the heater. Even when he was ahead in the count, I'm like, throw a heater. And I know that his fastball's been getting hit more than his slider, but don't overcomplicate things against Harrison Bader, who took one of your fastballs before, took both fastballs, didn't swing at either of them until the one that you threw because he knew it was coming because it's pretty obvious in that scenario you were going to throw the fastball. Then he walks Stott and gets booed off the mound, rightfully so. And the thing that's annoying is they had Edwin Diaz warmed up, which was the right thing. But if you were going to use Diaz potentially for more than 3 outs, then why not just give him the 8th inning and the 9th inning anyway? Why not just get aggressive and go with him for the 6-out save to begin with? It didn't matter in the end. I get it. But these are things where it's like, I want to see better from the manager. But thankfully, Yohan Duran couldn't get now. And like I said, I wanted to see this team show they could hit off of a guy like Duran. It was a Chavez-esque 9th inning, all singles. But that Brett Beatty at bat, I've gave Brett Beatty a lot of criticism, a lot of shit. That at bat was beautiful. The hit was kind of lame, I know, but it was beautiful the way that he went about the at bat. And then Brandon Nimmo walks it off with a single, and the Mets win the game. I'm not telling you I'm fully roped back in, but tonight definitely moved me more than I've been moved in a bit. But now, sweep this series. Sweep this series. You got Noah McLean going tomorrow versus Taijuan Walker, who you should be beating up on, which I want to put it past this team to not or to underperform against Taijuan Walker. But prove me wrong. Like they have so far this series, prove me wrong. And we'll see if they do. I'm hoping Diaz is available. He ended up throwing, I believe, just north of 20 pitches. I want to get the fat. He threw 22. I mean, to me, he probably should be available because he was just mowing down that lineup. And he's someone that likes to pitch a lot. 22 pitches isn't a lot. There are times in one outing he'll throw, in a 3-out situation, I'll throw that many pitches and be available. I think he should be good to go tomorrow. So you should have Diaz. You should have McLean. Ryan Helsley better not touch the mound. And we'll see. I mean, Rogers should be available too. He barely pitched tonight. But yeah, and Raley probably is available. So find a way to sweep this series and claw yourself into the conversation, at least, of, okay, maybe you can catch the division. Because you narrow it down to 4 games, and then if you could find a way to go into that 4-game series in September, while you're not playing the Phillies, you find a way to knock it down to 3 games. Who knows? And that would show me a lot of balls and a lot of character if they were able to make that happen. But I got to see it. Because I can't ignore what I've seen the other month. But like I said in yesterday's postgame, me, you, none of us will give a shit if they right the ship here when it matters and start to heat up going down the stretch here. So go play good baseball now. There are signs that maybe they will, because Vientos is hitting better. And you're getting more depth in this lineup because of that. You're getting some clutch moments now. But again, Pete Alonso, freaking great day for him. And this is the thing that we talked about with this offense going into the year that we have not seen all year up until this point. When one guy's not going from that top group, another guy's got to pick up the slack. And not that Soto and Lindor, had bad days. They still were effective at the plate, but Pete Alonso really just picking up a lot of the slack there, going 4 for 5. While lately it's been Lindor. But again, I got to see it build, and then I could erase what happened months ago. And now you got Jonah Tong on the way too. So hopefully that will help the bullpen too. Like both of you guys are saying, momentum building, and here comes Tong. Team has plenty of heartbreaking losses, which caused them to spiral. Well, tonight they need to use the win as inspiration, motivation to go on a run. Yeah, do the opposite of what those heartbreaking losses do. Use this to build character, build momentum, and change who we thought you were just a week or two ago, even. You have an opportunity here to make all of us forget. If you find a way to heat up when it matters most here. And even if they don't take the division, which I hope they could, but even if they don't, you find a way to heat up going into October, as we saw last year, who the fuck knows what happens. And yeah, you win tomorrow, you get the tiebreaker. So that would also be very nice to get. So I'm hoping they could sweep this tomorrow, because then you also make the Phillies start to question themselves. And if you win tomorrow, maybe the Phillies go into a little bit of a skid because you started to mentally get in their heads. I'd have to see who they're playing next to. They're playing the Braves. So that could be interesting. And then they play Milwaukee. They don't have the easiest of schedules down the stretch here. The Marlins they play, which that could be tough for them. Then they play the 4-game series, of course. Royals, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. I mean, there are a couple of easy games, though. Their last 6 are against the Marlins and the Twins. But there are a couple difficult games in there. But Sale is back, yes. So who knows? Maybe. But like I said, even if they don't win the division at this rate, to me, heat up going into October, and I take that and see what happens. Yeah, I think they're top 10 with strength of schedule. A lot of that's probably weighted with the Brewers game. But I'm not too sure how that works. And yeah, I mean, even though I feel bad with the Wheeler situation, I said that too when he got injured, that, from a baseball standpoint, it changes the conversation a bit. It makes the possibility of winning the division a little bit higher. But yes, speedy recovery, hopefully, for Wheeler, of course. And this is also true, though. The Mets don't have an easy schedule either. So that's a very good point as well. But if they find a way to actually beat up on these teams and, again, get hot going into it, all of a sudden you forget about what happened earlier in the year. There's also this part of me, too, though, after tonight, where it's like, especially if you sweep tomorrow, where it's like, if you just freaking swept the National, or not even sweep, just even win the series against the Nationals, like, damn, you would be, assuming they win tomorrow, you'd be within 3 games of the Phillies right now. Like, that part frustrates me a bit. But either way, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know I upload or go live, and I'll see you guys in the next one.